Boom! Hello and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, Season 4.
With your host, Byron Rodgers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children, or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out.
Boom! What's going down, you guys? What up, what up? We got another episode of the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast here. I might put this on Protector Nation as well. But this is a special one, man, because we all go to the range. We all are students of the arts of combatives that we can use to protect people. And I think that there is a very important component of training when it comes to firearms that a lot of guys out there are missing that really, really can make all the difference. We do it when it comes to the other disciplines, the hand-to-hand stuff, but we don't do it as much when it comes to firearms. And I don't know that it's been so attainable and something that so many of us can actually do until now with what Jaeger's doing at the Low Signature Resource Center, man. So I'm stoked to have you on the call. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Super stoked to be here. Get some of this training in and stuff. I think it's super critical dudes have it nowadays.
Dude, I'm excited for this episode because I think it represents a new level of training that's going to be accessible to protectors in every field, really. And for the executive protection industry, a level of training that we desperately need, but really, I don't know a lot of teams that actually get to take advantage of. And that's really force on force and being able to work as a team and client recovery and all that stuff, man. What would you say about it, man? What do you see when you have professionals that come through, and then we'll get into who you are and your background and all the stuff that we're joining forces on. But like when you have professionals that are working professionals with a gun, and then they come through and they actually have to move inside your facility, inside the buildings, and actually get a taste of the force on force, what does it look like? How does it feel? Does it seem like, they need more of this? Or?
Yeah, I think it's a big area that dudes neglect when it comes to like their training regimen and stuff. A lot of dudes are locked on at the static range. When the targets don't shoot back, the targets don't move, the targets are unpredictable, So having, the kill house and stuff when we're having PDs come through, or even just civilians or military dudes, that aren't used to training in that environment all the time. It's really eye-opening, for them and for even us as instructors. If you neglect that skill, right, when you get in the real thing, yeah, you might be the best shooter at the static range, but everything goes out the window as soon as you induce that little stress in the kill house. So I think it's a critical skill to have. So.
No, I think it's the next skill to have. I think the range is it's like vehicle dynamics. It's like, all right, cool. I'm going to take a vehicle dynamics course. I'm going to learn how to master this vehicle, how to get at least 80% of its performance, its potential. But then it's like, well, you got to learn how to car fight. Like you got to learn, if you have to make contact, you got to learn how to do it. And so I think where we're missing it a lot as protectors is, we get the fundamentals down, a little bit of movement at the range, and we think we can gunfight. And it's like hitting a heavy bag, man. It's like, man, I got these nasty combos, I'm killing it. And you think you're gangster, and then it's like, all right, sweet dude, you're going to need a mouthpiece for this. Yep. And then it's like, okay, you're down, but then you really learn, like, can you actually gunfight? Like, can you actually spar? And then when you think about the fact that we're doing this for a real life game where we're playing for keeps, it's like, nah, dude, I want to die 1,000 times in your kill house.
And it happens literally every single day. We have dudes. And I think the other part of it too, why we kind of started this there's a lot of places that do awesome CQB courses and stuff, but it's such a perishable skill that if you don't practice it, on a regular basis, at least, I mean, minimum quarterly,
Yeah.
I think it should be a monthly, if not bi-monthly type thing that dudes are practicing, especially if you're, it's your profession. You're doing it every day in your profession. So, yeah.
No, I agree, man. It's really easy to think you're better than you are, man, if you don't ever get challenged, Yeah. And I remember, I think it was Craig Douglas or Mike Pannone that said to me that, are always like, dude, if you can't test your tactics at speed, that's why I like jujitsu so great, because you can freaking simulate murder again and again and again in one day at a pretty high clip, at a level of intensity and speed. And if you can't test your trash at speed and get predictable results, like, can you trust your life to it? Like, do you know that you can trust your life to it? So I think that's why you see like really a few styles in the MMA arena, because it's like, obviously it's a sport and there's rails and rules, but the martial arts you see in there are able to be tested at speed and people can depend on, and that's what's good.
And that's the other thing too, like even with CQB, at least giving dudes, there's a lot of different ways, to skin the CQB cat. But for us, at least, we have different departments coming in, different dudes with different backgrounds. It's good to be able to, have that mindset. Hey, I'm always a student. Hey, I'm always learning different ways to do stuff. And, hey, like you said, testing it at speed. Does this actually work? When we're going full bore, full throttle in this thing. So I think that's been really critical for dudes to see, as well as having that training environment. So
yeah, man, because when we were in there with our teams just sparring and testing processes and SOPs, it was like we learned so much. We came up with new doctrine just by being like, okay, you guys are the bad guys. We're going to try to do our thing. And it's like, I mean, our first idea of how we were going to do things, it evolved in just one day of exposure to this. I think that's really valuable.
And I think with that too, like you said, your SOPs are always evolving because the bad guys too are always evolving. A skill you learned, for me, I'll see, guys with more experience than me, or maybe in before I was, or whatever, they'll have a skill. And then now, it might be obsolete, right? Because everyone's evolved to counter that. So I think that's another good part of practicing on a regular basis.
100%, man. The battlefield's always evolving. And now with everyone playing war games in their living room and understanding how to freaking angle on you and understanding speed and intensity because they're ambushing each other on Call of Duty and all these things, man, we have to be evolving. It's just like on the streets, dude. Like, dude, you're going to MMA gyms. Like, you might have to face somebody who actually has some mat time. Like, that's not weird anymore. It's not rare anymore, So, no, I love it, dude. So, you, man, who's the man behind the work? Who is Jagger at his core?
So, I mean, my biggest thing, dude, I'd say at the core, I'm a teacher. I'm an instructor. I'm a student of all things. My biggest thing is I love to learn stuff. I love to learn good knowledge. I like to test that knowledge. And then once, hey, I've tested it, whether it's gear or guns or tactics or whatever it is, I like to now pass that on to dudes and stuff so they can, better themselves and go forth and do better things, out in the world. So that's kind of me at the core.
Yeah, man, an instructor, a teacher, someone who empowers others, and I think that's so then they can go and do it themselves, man, and perform at higher levels.
Yeah, it's like one of the most rewarding things for sure, and humbling things as well. It's like seeing dudes, whether we teach a super intense course or we run a dude just through like some fundamental skills, and they really get that aha moment. And they're able to actually apply it, on a daily basis. So that's pretty cool part about the job. So
yeah, man, that's super dope. Tactical background, because everyone always wants to know.
I'm scout sniper in the Marine Corps. I served with 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. I got out in 2020. Ended up working for a contracting company in Orange County. Did that for about 2 years, and then decided, hey, we can do this better. We can do this, in a more professional setting, for actual professionals rather than, just catering to like the low level beginner market. So I think that's been a good thing. Born and raised in North Idaho, hunting, fishing, outdoors.
Yeah.
Love all that stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. No, I love it, dude. So yeah, you're not a lightweight, one, but then two, you're just the dude who wanted to make a difference and wanted to have a positive impact on the game and knew you could do it and went and did it. And that, I think that counts for everything, dude, man. Like, even for me, when I wanted to get into this game, I was like, well, I want to make contributions. And I was like, I'm not that cool, not freaking scout sniper. And I'm not special forces. I'm just an infantry dude in the Marine Corps. And then I was like, and I'm, so I realized I'm going to have to really give people value, man, if I'm going to do this stuff. Because my gift is going to have to make room for me, not my like sizzle or sexy factor, or having doctors at the end of my name or any of that trash. So I love it, man. That's awesome. So for you guys listening, all you got to do is choose to make a difference. Doesn't matter how cool you are. Do something cool, solve some freaking problems, and it'll make a seat for you at the table, man.
Be a good dude.
Yeah, be a good dude,
be
man.
A good dude, man. That's my philosophy. Just be a good dude, help others, and it'll come back around full circle.
It's funny, dude. We talk about recruiting new agents, and I'll get a guy called me up, and he's like, "Yo, I got this guy. He's special forces, everything. He's an actual Jedi. He'll be the best dude." And I'm like sitting there listening, and we're in the same dynamic every time we're listening. And then eventually he'll say something along the lines of, "He's a good dude. Plus, he's a good dude." And once I hear good dude, I'm like, okay, cool. He can hang out. We can work on the rest of this stuff. But if he's a good dude, all right. Is he a good dude? Yeah, all right, cool. Then he's in. So I love that, man. That's awesome. So what would you say? So I guess let's give everyone an overview of your facility, kind of, paint the picture in their minds of what you guys do and how it looks and what you guys offer, man.
Yeah. So Low Signature Resource Center. It's located in North Orange County in Placentia, just outside of Anaheim. And we opened it kind of to just have like a hub for like the tactical community, a place for them to go and train, a place for them to, kind of have just a landing pad, whether they're coming into California. There's not a lot of gun friendly or tactical training friendly, I would say, places here. So yeah, we built like a full facility. We have like a reality-based simulator in there. We have a full on kill house. It's like super modular. We can change walls. We can change layouts, hallways, different configurations of rooms. We have motion tracking cameras. We have like all these environmental factors we can induce on students, daytime, nighttime. And then on top of that, we do like tons of workshops and live fire courses and stuff like that, trying to bring it all full circle, and expose members of the program to different ways of teaching, but also like, hey, for law enforcement, for, executive protection professionals, military dudes, just a hub for them to go and train at without having to deal with all the paperwork and bullshit that you might find at other spots. So.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, what I love that you guys did was you like made having access to an actual shoot house, like 360-degree freaking battle environment. You made it accessible to like everyone, man. And I think that's huge, because, with some of my training, we have to rent out like law enforcement facilities, and like, getting access to assets like that is not something that civilians and even a lot of private security teams has been able to do until right now.
Yeah. We noticed that. I'm like, hey, all these dudes are doing this on a day-to-day basis. Why should it be so hard? Even going back to the, the military, why is it so hard to go to the range? Why is it so hard to do this? It needs to be, readily accessible to anyone, right? That's seeking that training, that's a professional or whatever in the industry. So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. No, I the other thing I think that's really, really cool about it. Well, one, like this is a shoot house. There's catwalks. So I had a team, that I was running through there last week, and it was just so awesome to be able to get up on the catwalk And I mean, it was good and bad because you could see everything that was done wrong, and you're just sitting there like, no, you know.
Yep.
But that bird's eye view to see your team run through things is so valuable. And I found actually, I've seen a few of these things, and one of them didn't have a catwalk up there. And I was like, walked in, I looked up, and I was like, no.
Yeah, because I mean, like you saw, we try to, if we're doing scenarios or we're doing force on force or whatever it may be, everyone runs through ground level, and then, hey, after you've done your run, boom, you're up on top observing. And just like you saw, you're like, oh my God, why didn't I notice that? Or, oh shit, I could have did this better, or I could have did this worse, So that's a critical part about it as well, I'd say. And the video cameras too, playing it back. Because then you're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on?
Yeah, no, that's a lot of teachable moments and things that you're able to extract. And then the other thing I think is pretty awesome is, we were able to conduct team training for a really, like, it was very economically sound in that we weren't using UTMs or C-munitions. We were running it off airsoft. Yep. And I used to be one of them.
Same
and I was poo-pooing on airsoft. I was like, I hate these guys. Sometimes I think there's a legit page and I see airsoft, or, they always, have all the fake equipment. And I used to hate on it. And then I had a buddy hit me up, and he's a high level shooter. And he was like, hey dude, like, want to come to my birthday? And I was like, yeah, bro. And I was like, what are we doing? And he's like, oh, we're going to airsoft. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, like, I'm going to hang out with a bunch of airsoft nerds, but he's my boy, whatever, let's do it. And dude, I went in there, and fortunately I did pretty good, but we ran EP drills, we ran scenarios, we ran all kinds of things. And when I walked out of there, I was like, dude, it was like I just got into a bunch of gunfights in one day. This was amazing, honestly. Yeah. And airsoft hurts enough to make it perform.
Yeah, like some of the guys. It was funny too at the facility. I'm always like, hey, go throw a hoodie on, or go throw some gloves on or something. No, I'm good. It's just airsoft. And then about halfway through the day, I'm like, hey, anyone want to put a hoodie on? Yep, everyone's putting on hoodies and gloves and stuff. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a cost-effective training tool. I honestly think everyone, if I was in the same boat as you, I'm like, dude, we're not using airsoft here. And I mean, we have the capability. We run UTMs and stuff there, but they're expensive,
Yeah.
And you guys, I want students to get as many reps as possible. It's like airsoft's the way to go. For sure.
100%, man. Yeah, man. No, and it was, as a training tool, it was very effective for us to be able to just use airsoft, man. I have no issues with it. I wish there was some kind of marking cartridge airsoft maybe that they could come up with. But in terms of getting your SOPs dialed in, and so I think that was kind of one of the biggest takeaways for us was like, for everyone in the industry watching, you got to ask yourself, when's the last time you ran your team through a pressure cooker, a high friction environment with force on force with regards to what you are expected to be able to do in the real world, when it comes to a dynamic human threat scenario? Like, when's the last time you guys did that? When's the last time you did it, ran through and actually thought about executing sound CQB principles in an executive protection format? I know the answer. It's
me too. I do too.
Yeah, man.
R and few in between, so
yeah.
But yeah, it's perishable. I mean, dudes need to get in there, get the reps, practice it some more, go home and practice it, wherever they can. So
well, and that's the thing about CQB, man. It's not it's just like any other martial art. Like, you wouldn't go to jujitsu like once a quarter or once a year and be like, sweet, I'm dangerous. And that's what I think is dangerous about the training industry is I'll go, people will go take, I went to said Jedi Ninja instructor, Viking Lord instructor course one time. And people don't realize it. Like, dude, these courses are exposure to principles. Yeah. So unless you build in, some reps at home or something in your garage, or have a center like yours where people can come and like actually get repetitive exposure to this type of sparring, it's really hard to build any competencies that you can depend on.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, because we'll have that same thing. Dudes will come in and be like, oh, I've trained with so-and-so and so-and-so. Doesn't make you subject matter expert. Doesn't put you at their level at all, So yeah, you need to give a fuck enough to get out there, train on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, make it a priority.
Yeah, man. And with, and when you look at any team that's at the tip of the spear, that's what they're doing, dude. Like, they have the assets and they're running through those houses, all the time. They're training all the time. And that's how you get that good. So finding that good work-life balance is definitely part of the game, man. But for the greater EP industry, I think one of the problems we have now is, there's a lot of fighting about standardization when it comes to what you can expect out of an executive protection agent. I'm not really trying to fight guys on standardization, but what I am doing is I'm creating training opportunities for agents to be legit. Like you come to the hard skills intensive, you're going to get your medical dialed up. You're going to get the highest level of driving training in the game. You're going to get a full on pistol shooting package, attack on principle, low light, no light, CQB, all the stuff. And you're going to walk out of there and you're going to know that you can do the hard skill basics. You can handle your trash. And we turn up the heat. I want to kill you 1,000 times in training so you don't die in the street, right? Yeah. And then, for the everyday agent, and, it's too bad we're just in Cali with this, but being able to take those skills and put them in a force-on-force facility so you can know if you actually can execute on these things is like the missing piece, I think, to a lot of what the industry is offering.
Yeah, so I absolutely agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited. I guess it's time to make the announcement.
Yeah, me too, man.
Me and Jagger are joining forces. The League of Executive Protection Specialists and Low Signature Resource Center are going to start hosting EP-CQB clinics at his facility. You guys are all invited. We're going to make it as cost effective, as economic as possible, so you can get in there maybe once every other month or once a month. We'll see what the op tempo looks like, what the response from you guys is like. But this clinic is going to be all about learning the basics of CQB with regards to what is relevant to us in the EP industry. One man CQB, man, moving through these structures solo. Because unless you're on in some big State Department or Secret Service detail or a big organization, it's probably just going to be you. And if you can do it with one, you can do it with two. So you'll get one man CQB out of it. You'll get two man CQB out of it. We'll get into client retrieval, you moving through structures solo to get to your principal, your customer, your client. If you're in a position like this right now in a car, and they want to be in that meeting by themselves, which is realistic and probable. And then we're going to get into moving and CQB with your principal and with your protectee, and just being faced and exposed to the equation of moving with your principal is so good for all of us, man. And if you don't have this training, get to this clinic, get to one of these clinics, get your team to one of these clinics, take your game to the next level and learn, man. And then it's all going to be tested with force on force. We're going to do a little bit of force on force, enough force on force for you to really see how effective and important these principles are.
Yeah, they'll get their feet wet for sure. I think it'll be a good thing for everyone to get on out, and get their feet wet. And hey, this is what's, offered out here. If you guys are local, it's a resource that you can use even more than the monthly clinic and stuff we're doing. So take advantage of it. Get your ass out here.
No, 100%, man. And I think it's definitely, and then, we'll definitely make it something that you can put in your training jacket as well, showing that you actually do this. You can add hours to your service jacket, showing that you have actually moved with a client in training and under pressure and stress, that it's a competence that you have to give you guys that final payoff at return on investment. So I think this is something that all the teams hopefully all the teams in our industry will start coming and testing themselves out, testing their skills out, renting out the facility, doing what me and my team did, coming out and just just murder boarding and learning what you can and can't do. You should realistically have some type of team SOP. You know, a lot of EP teams don't ever move and train together in these types of environments. And that is something that I'm setting out to change, you know?
Yeah.
We'll let them fight over standards. I'm going to create training experiences with awesome dudes like Jagger, where we can just make sure our professionals can perform, you know, and that's the golden standard. So heck yeah, man.
Yeah, good shit, dude. I'm amped. It's going to be a good time. Should be sometime in January. So stay tuned for all the details about that.
Yeah, 100%. By the time you guys are watching this, there'll be a link underneath the screen for you guys to hit and come out and train with us. I'll be there. I'm sure some of my guys will be there. And obviously, you know, doing a little recruiting there and, you know, come out and train with us, man. It's going to be really good. So this is just the beginning of more awesome training opportunities for our industry where, you know, soft skills keep you paid, but hard skills save lives. So we got to have both, man. We got to have both.
Boom. If you've been enjoying the podcast, I want to encourage you to come and train with me. Train with us, the League of Executive Protection Specialists. We offer online courses so you can train and learn how to take your executive protection career to the next level from the comfort of your own home. We offer on-ground training on everything from the hard skills of driving, shooting, medical, and into the soft skills through the Executive Protection Immersion course, which is one of the most experiential, learning-centric courses in the executive protection industry. Either way, I want you to become part of the golden standard in the private security industry and join the brotherhood, the League of Executive Protection Specialists. Go to EPSpecialist.com and let's do our careers together. I'll see you there. Out.
And one other thing too, you know, we mix into the scenarios. We threw some tourniquets on and we did some other little things too. So,
yeah, we'll definitely add. There will be multi dimensions to this clinic for sure.
Heck yeah. Awesome, Jagger. Well, dude, it's such an honor to be able to do this with you. Let's see here. I usually drop a few closing questions. One of my favorite ones is a habit or practice that you believe protectors should integrate, or just people that, you know, can make you a better person or a better protector, something people should look at maybe integrating into their lives.
I'd say it's kind of, you've probably heard it before.
More force on force training.
Yeah.
More force on force.
Go through a tourniquet on your leg in the living room. I'd say try every day. At least I try to do this, try to learn something new from someone. Right. And with that item that I learned from them, I try to apply it in everyday life. And then I also like to try to, you know, go out and teach someone something new that day as well, right? It just kind of goes back into that instructor mindset and giving back mindset, you know? So yeah.
No, that's a good one. I mean, and the cheat code that I don't think people realize is, like, when you teach something, you're still learning. Like the best way to really learn something is teach it.
Yeah. Teach backs for sure.
100%. No, I dig that. And then the other thing, go ahead.
Always be a student. Always.
Heck yeah. Nah, professional student. This is a place too. This op that we're going to do it's a place to come and be a white belt. I always like to mention that, you know, I love being a white belt. I love being like, I don't know, teach me how to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And then eventually, you know, you eventually, you know, you go up in belts and they like make you take another belt, and then everyone's gunning for you, you know? Like, I love being a white belt, man. Just come in and just be like, hey, I'm here to learn, man, you know? And that's awesome. This is a place to do that. Jagger and his staff are awesome. They're totally professional. They, you know, weren't like, hey, we know everything and we're the most, you know, high speed dudes in the game. You know, they're like, this is how we've done it. This is how we've been researching it's being done. This is how we're seeing it be done. But, you know, they're also, you know, open to however what other guys bring into the game as well. So it's a really good environment to come and be a white belt at, man. That was one thing I wanted to say for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, yeah, I can always learn something from even the white belt guys, you know, the first guy.
Yep.
So that's part of that, going back, try to learn something new from someone every day, no matter their background, no matter their skill level, you know.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways to do any given task. So
skin that freaking cat.
cat, yeah.
And then the other thing too, man, was one of my favorite last questions is, how do you want to be remembered? What's it all for, man? In the end, when you're dead, what do you want them to think or say, or what are you doing it for?
That's a good question. For me, again, I'd say, you know, part of like making an impact, as in, you know, being that good dude, providing this center where dudes, you know, can come fucking train, but also building that community together. You know, that's another good thing that I enjoy about my job, is bringing all these random dudes together, right, and making them into, you know, kind of a brotherhood or a team, to where they now have, you know, a broader, vaster reach, right, of each other. So yeah, I'd say just being that good dude and helping others come together so they can be good dudes, you know, trying to be that model. So
no, I love that, man. And then real quick before we end this thing, dude, let's talk a little bit about, because the Low Signature Resource Center, our EP-CQB clinic is going to be super dope. But you guys offer you have membership levels. You guys offer a whole gamut of other services. So, you know, you might come, and if you're like me and my dudes, man, we were blown away. And now dudes are getting memberships and taking a number of different skills to the next level with him and with Jagger and his team. So what else what's the full span of what you guys are offering with those memberships?
Yeah. So the program's basically set up like a gym, you know, whether it's jiu-jitsu or martial arts gym or just a regular gym. Students sign up for what we call small group classes. So those are weekly or monthly, you know, at the minimum, to where dudes can come in for an hour, 2 hours, just to stay up on their skills. We have a whole curriculum. It's like 200, 300 pages of curriculum that you guys can kind of tackle as like a ladder to climb up to the top. And then on top of that, we have, you know, the kill house, where we're, you know, investing time and getting dudes up to the level they need to be at for CQB. And then also monthly, every month we're teaching 6, 7 different types of workshops, live fires, all sorts of things. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's not just shooting, right? You got to be a good communicator. You got to be an asset, right, to yourself, to all those around you, your family, your loved ones, friends, anything like that. So that's my whole goal with the program, is not only build good shooters, but also good communicators, good dudes, essentially, with the knowledge of all those different areas. So yeah.
I love it, man. Dude, that's super awesome. So as we were talking about at the beginning of this thing, when we were like, dude, you need a volume of exposure to this discipline to become an actual gunfighter, to be able to really have an advantage, a tactical advantage inside of a building on someone. You need more exposure. So you're actually making that all possible with the membership, essentially. Yeah. And then obviously on different disciplines as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's full scale. I mean, we have a combat medicine series. We have various different field skills, survival courses, land nav. We've been doing a covert entry and an evade and escape series, where it's, you know, how to get out of handcuffs, how to escape vehicles, you know, anti-kidnapping. We do all different weapon systems, CQB, night vision shoots, low light shoots. The list goes on and on and on. So there's tons of stuff, tons of courses and stuff to attend. So,
dude, this is gonna be huge, man. I love it. And the members just are able to, once they have their memberships locked on, they can hop in and out of these courses.
Yeah. So basically, once they become a member, here, I'll see if I can pull it up on my phone here.
Yeah, man.
So they basically have, oh, nice, it's blurred. Nice, redacted. So the members get an app, and with that app, it's depending on how many classes they signed up for their package. They can just go in, shows you all the upcoming courses. We have classes all the way booked out until December of 2023. So anyone can see and plan, because that's another big thing. You know, everyone's has a job, so a lot of these courses, they're getting dropped, a month before or whatever, and you might not have time to fly out to California or take time off work and stuff. So giving, members that huge list of stuff so they can plan and put it kind of part of their routine is super big to us as well.
Heck yeah, it's super big for the user, dude. And then last question, low signature resource center. How'd you pick that?
So originally, it's a good story. Originally, when we were two parts to it, I guess. Originally, when we were trying to find a building, right? We're thinking firearm this or tactical this or whatever. Well, we're in California, right? And that's really frowned upon down here. So I tried to think of the most like under the radar name. Literally, I was like, oh, we should call it under the radar. Like sniper mission sets or anything like that. I'm like, okay, what could be, like a name? And low signature is like, you're concealed, you're in everyday public. And then we were just going to keep it that. But when we were getting the name and stuff locked on, we needed to make it to where it wasn't so threatening because we have a big spear as our logo, and all that stuff.
With blood on it.
Yeah, we're a resource center. So we provide training, certifications, all that stuff, kind of all encompassing. So yeah.
Heck yeah, man. No, I love it, dude. That's awesome. No, your spear is like, it's like inspirational to me, dude. It's so Marine Corps-ish too. Like right. I'm like in your little garage, like the shoot house, and I'm like looking at that thing on the wall. And I'm like, it makes me feel like awesome. Yeah. Like it's in all the content I was recording. Like I just had it in the background.
Yeah, to get the flag spear in the background. Yeah.
I love it, man. No, that's motivating, dude. Well, heck yeah, dude. So this has been awesome. I hope you guys will come out and train with us. It's going to be an amazing time. A one-day EP-CQB clinic. We're going to keep them going as long as the industry responds to it. I think it's extremely needed. Don't think about it as some type of competition thing. There will be some force on force, but what you're really going to walk away from is you're going to get more skills. We're going to expose you to skills. You're going to drill those skills on paper. We're going to add a couple dudes for you to go against that are going to be good sparring partners. This is where you're going to learn EP-CQB because you ain't going to learn it nowhere else because ain't nobody doing it anywhere else.
Right. Crawl, walk, run. Crawl, walk, run.
Heck yeah. We're going to make better protectors. All right, brother. Hey, it's an honor, Jagger. Let's keep tearing it up, dude. We got work to do, and I look forward to training with all you guys out there. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks, man. I absolutely appreciate you having me on here. I'm super stoked for what the future holds. So,
heck yeah, awesome. Yeah. It's an honor. Hit the link.
Yeah, get to the link.
Boom. Right. Boom.
This is my MCK. There are many like it, but this one is mine. If you've got a firearm sitting around, a pistol that you are not doing anything with, get an MCK. They make them for every single model. If you want a micro conversion kit that will turn your handgun into a force multiplier, get one, man. They are ultra affordable. CAA MCK micro conversion kits are changing the game, y'all. So if you don't have one, you need to get one. Get one. Your women, children, people that are less physically potent will be able to fire your firearm to farther distances with more accuracy. You will be able to fire your firearm to farther distances with more accuracy. I want to get one of these into the hands of 100,000 more protectors this year because ultimately we are only as good as the nation is only as good as its protection. Your home is only as safe and as good as your ability to protect it. MCK, go get one, drop your handgun in, take it to the next level. Out. Boom. Yo, if you're a private security professional wanting to take your game to the next level, go to executiveprotectiontrainingday.com to check out my personal success package for private security professionals. Check it out, executiveprotectiontrainingday.com. And remember, y'all, hard skills do save lives, but soft skills get you paid. Boom. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can, because it makes all of these things possible. Thanks for those contributions. Yo, and before we go, I got a shout out to the sponsors, starting out with Primary Weapon Systems, PWS. They truly are the evolution of the rifle. Use Byron for 10% off. Grayman & Company, the most comfortable tactical suits in the game. Use Byron for 10% off with them. Until the next podcast, this is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade. Out. Boom.